So the Halong Bay trip is probably a lot of folks' initial introduction to Vietnam. A lot of tourists make the pilgrimage here to Halong Bay, go on a cruise. It's either a day cruise or 2-day cruise, or sometimes even a 3-day cruise. This particular trip, I did this trip maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and this trip I did an additional night in Ninh Binh, which is a really lovely, sort of more of a nature place. They call it the Halong Bay on land, so you get a lot of the same similar kind of like limestone kind of outcroppings that you see behind me here, but on a sort of a river or within a landscape geography. I'm talking with a lot of the staff about the general conditions of Halong Bay after the typhoon. So I'm here about 30 days after the super typhoon that hit this area in September. So this is about 1 month past. Many people were killed, over 300 people killed. Many are missing still. Whole villages were covered in landslides, just devastating. And the staff on this particular boat and at the harbor both said how scary it was, how most people haven't seen this kind of damage or that powerful of a typhoon. In fact, they were sort of like comparing it to a hurricane because there was so much wind, not a lot of rain, but much more wind. So the good news is that most of the services and people are again working. Everything is functional. You will see, some debris in the bay. There's definitely some damage to some of the structures on land. Several boats were capsized and sunk during the process. So the cruises aren't running at full capacity, but they are available. And the staff wanted me to remind folks that they are here and ready to serve you. So as of late September, early October, things are operating as usual here in the bay, and you can expect it to have an experience that's very similar to what you would have pre-typhoon. So most of the Halong cruises will include a couple of the excursions out of the boat or of the cruise ship and into some of the areas. Almost all of the cruises offer an excursion into a couple of the caves, which really shouldn't be missed. It's amazing how massive these caves are, and they're really well outfitted, or conditioned for tourists. So all the stairs are nice, and it's pretty easy to walk through. And big bonus, you'll be out of the sun too, so no, massive heat that you're walking around in, which is kind of nice. During the recent typhoon, the guide was telling us that a lot of the locals sought shelter inside these caves, in order to shield themselves for the 5 or 6 hours of the most intense part of the storms. This is the largest of the 3 caves, and you can just see how it sort of stretches way into the distance, all of that area, and you basically can walk through this whole area. So I know a lot of people have trips planned and they were concerned about whether the conditions would be good, or also you want to be sensitive to people's conditions, right? As a tourist, you don't want to just sort of barge in after a natural disaster. But the staff, the people here are ready to accept tourists and are eager to see people return to this area. So on a visit to Vietnam, if it's not your first visit, probably your second or third visit, you'll end up at Halong Bay and really sort of take in the area. It's one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and it's important to see this area and really experience it.